All right, welcome to Scatterbrained, a weekly subpod of mind controllers. I'm your host, Brandon Craw, and I'm joined by my co-host.
Moreno.
So sit back and relax, and we're going to tell you all about the media and video games we've been enjoying this week. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to rate and review the podcast on whatever listening app you're using. It really helps us spread the word of our pod. The algorithm picks it up and then it puts it out to more people. So we really appreciate it. Thank you. Cool. Joe, before we get into the video games, I am dying to know how your Super Bowl Sunday was. I know you're not a big fan of football itself. I'm not either, but it's kind of hard to ignore the festivities around something as big as the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my family and I, we just really do it for the food. Right? It's an excuse to
Yeah.
go buy food, have greasy food, and just eat, like 2 p.m. to whenever the Super Bowl ends, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I always have fun doing that. Something I look forward to, especially because, after the holidays, you gotta eat clean for a little bit, right? Kind of get on that resolution, whatever you want to do, right? And so once you hit Super Bowl Sunday, I'm like, it's time to eat. I'm feeling hungry. So that's how it goes for us. We're sitting on the couch, eating food, just enjoying each other's company,
That sounds nice.
watching football, me pretending I understand what's going on, which I've played NFL Blitz on PlayStation. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I just pretend not to, but it's funny. You watch the commercials and stuff. Like, I think this is the one time where I like watching the commercials. I will say there was a lot of sappier commercials this year. Yeah, compared to, or maybe it's just I'm old and jaded at this point, right? And I miss the funny times. Maybe that's what it is. But I had a good time.
Nice.
What about you?
Nice. Yeah. I had a great time with it as well. To build on your point about the commercial thing, I heard several other podcasters like complain about how shitty the commercials were this year as well. So I personally didn't see too many commercials. I was at a restaurant, so I didn't like they were playing the Super Bowl there and everyone's really into it, but I was just kind of tuning out the commercials. I think the only one I caught was the seal, the singer as a seal.
Oh
I think it was a
yeah,
Mountain Dew commercial that did that. So
some good nightmare fuel.
yeah, exactly. I already know I'm gonna clip this and put that in, but yeah, it was so weird to see his face imposed onto that seal and that shit was wild. So other than that, though, I had a good time. I went to Yard House, met up with one of our friends there, as you know, and then yeah, we were mostly just chatting, but watching the game as well. Because holy shit, was it loud! They turned that volume up in there, just like cranked it all the way. You could barely hear anybody else around you. It was just the game, and it was like fun and exciting. Sometimes a little annoying, just because you're like you feel like you're shouting. Um, the halftime show, as you know, I'm a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, born and raised in LA. I mean, he's a local star. And especially after all the rap beef and stuff, this halftime performance, I fell in love with it. I could not believe that he was
I bet.
like,
I was
yeah.
like, I bet Brandon's loving
Oh,
this. I
dog.
was like, I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, all right, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
all
I'm
good.
sure you loved it. Yeah.
I know. I was feeling it so hard, and the fact that he kept on teasing They're Not Like Us, just like talking about it,
Oh yeah.
saying how he's worried but because they're so happy, and then he just plays it anyways. The way he looked right at the camera and smiled and said, "Hey Drake." Oh my god. I was just like, "Yes, go off, King. Fuck yeah." So had a great time with that. Even the waiters and everyone just stopped what they were doing in the restaurant and they were just watching the performance. I'm like, yes, this is a total LA thing. I know some people who might not be like too into the scene or the music, like my parents said that they found it really boring, and I was just like, it's all right. That wasn't for you. I understand. But it's okay.
Yeah, not everything's for everyone.
Yeah.
That's something that we need to realize.
Yep. And we realize all the time with video games, but
Hmm.
yeah, so that was probably the highlight of the weekend, I think, for me, just watching all of that. And then food wise, I've been craving some nachos. I have no idea why. I could easily make nachos at home, but I finally was able to eat my nachos and watch the game, and it was very relaxing. What I have a food question for you, but before I get to that one, which could be a hot take, What did you eat? I forgot what you said you ate at the soup while watching the Super Bowl.
So yeah, we bought Wingstop. We
Nice.
had like 100 wings. It
A
was a lot of
hundred?
wings. Yeah, 100.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
we kind of go all out. Which means, bro, Monday I had to work out like no one's worked out before because
Yeah.
I was just feeling guilty. I didn't eat too many, but we had wings. Domino's cheesy bread. My
Okay.
sister recommended that, so we picked some
Okay.
of that up. And then just like a bunch of chips, soda. It was very like, no one was gonna cook that day, which is
Totally.
good. I didn't feel like cooking. There was one year I made like sliders and stuff like that. I'm like, not this year.
Damn,
Let's take
dog.
it easy.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know. It's funny because I remember talking to you about like a lot of these holidays and you always say that you cook and I every time I don't know. It's always not surprising but just like, oh shit. Maybe because I don't cook that often. So I'm like, damn, homie's making the
Well, I
ham.
get a lot of practice in because I do a lot of meal prepping throughout
Uh
like every Sunday, every Saturday. I don't mind cooking. I like it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I enjoy baking and making ice cream. Like I find that relaxing just to follow the recipe and then put in the oven and then get to enjoy some sweet treat afterwards. So I totally see the appeal. My hot take food question that I have for you is well, maybe this year wasn't the best food year or I don't know. I guess I don't know what your Super Bowl food standard is. But Thanksgiving or Super Bowl for the food.
Oh, Thanksgiving,
Yeah. Okay.
no
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on the same page there. I think I saw
Yeah,
some
there's just something
yeah.
about, like, putting the time in to make the food for Thanksgiving that is much more satisfying when you eat it.
Mm,
Unless you mess it up, that's another story, but usually it's pretty good.
I agree. I saw some people posting, and I think I saw a poll, and the majority of the people there voted in favor of Super Bowl for better food spread. And I was just like, man, I guess so. Hmm. I don't really disagree because it feels like the food you have during Super Bowl is like more fast food. It's like pizza, burgers, wings, a lot of that stuff. And all that shit is really good too. I love that. But
Yeah.
there's something satisfying and I want to say wholesome about the Thanksgiving meal that I really enjoy. This is the most American ass conversation. If we have any international people out there, please let us know if you cared at all about the Super Bowl or any of the commercials or any of the culture surrounding it. Probably not, but just curious. Man, speaking of America, did you see Google Maps renamed the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America? That was
Yeah, I saw that.
that's crazy. Man,
We live in a time.
yep.
We definitely
That's
do.
all I'll say. We certainly live in a time. Not sure if this is the good timeline or not. I guess time will tell. Anyways, cool, man. Ready to talk about video games?
Of course,
Yeah.
always.
Awesome. I think I think I'll go first because there's one that we both played this past weekend well safe to talk about. And mine was just a small indie game. I played and actually wrapped up like 30 minutes ago. Thank goodness you're here. Do you remember this indie game at all when it first dropped last year?
I remember people talking about it favorably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're a guy that slaps things,
Oh
right?
yeah.
That's how you solve? Yeah, okay. Then yeah, this is that game. Okay.
I saw someone online describe it as a slap former, and I'm like, holy shit, that is perfect. You play as this like little mini, it's not, I don't know how to describe it because you're like a miniature person in a normal world, and no one really acknowledges like how tiny you are or
Mm.
anything. That's just the way of life. Apparently, you're a traveling salesman or something, but that doesn't matter at all. You don't talk at all. All you're doing is going around this very British town, very like Northern England humored town, slapping things as the interaction. You only can jump or slap. And I would say this game is more like an experience than a game. It feels like you're just watching a cartoon.
Okay.
And I'm kind of okay with that. Right now we got we're in between some major releases, so I want to knock out some of these indies. And I got this game like on some Fanatics bundle or something or Fanatical bundle. It was just like $15 for this game and 20 other games. A few of which I Was really looking. I actually also wanted to play some other indie games, so I'll probably get to them next. But yeah, so it was only $15. This game I think retails for about 15 and is usually on sale for
Yeah.
13. So it was just like a no brainer. Like definitely, I'm going to get this bundle. Um, and yeah, I like I said, I had a really good time with it. The humor in there, I was worried would be like too British and go over my dumb American head, but it is like kind of universal. It's just so absurd and pretty vulgar at times. Um, there's like there was this one interaction I actually just saw at the I hesitate to say the end of the game because you play in a town that kind of has like these different connections between each section. It's not an open world, and the little parts of each town don't always connect. Like I think you have to hit a certain story beat in order for it to connect. And then sometimes it'll have you just go all the way back to the beginning. And there's only like three little sections of the town, each having their own quirks and their own layout and stuff. Each one of them feels unique. But that was one of the main complaints of I would have of the game is like sometimes that yeah, sometimes it feels like you're not sure exactly what to do or where to go. And then the first time I didn't realize that it wanted me to loop back to the beginning. And then I got back to the beginning and like the traversal stuff in the game is not, it's not great. I mean, it's just like a silly slap form. I'm going to keep on calling it slap former. Um, it's just a silly little slap former. So it's not like they want you to fast travel or anything. So I was a little like, wait, what? I'm all the way at the beginning. Now I got to walk all the way to where I was before. And that took like 5 to 10 minutes just trying to get back there. And there's some like repeated things that are funny the first time, but after you see them for like the fifth time, it starts getting a little stale. But I would say for the most part, a lot of that game felt novel and it didn't really repeat that much to the point where I felt like I was having a new experience every time I was going back to one of the certain subsections of the town. And an example of the humor that I started was that there's a phone booth and there's these two girls who are sisters who you see them early in the game and you kind of are introduced to them by like the older one always picking on and saying some bullshit to the younger one. And then the older one right now is like in the payphone. She's like, "Oh my god, dad's been in a serious accident. They said that he's on life support right now." And the little girl's like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And the older sister says, "He remembered how much of a shit daughter you are and wanted to kill himself, so he drove himself off the bridge." And that's just like the humor style of the game. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Like in the context of the game, it's a lot funnier than I described. I mean, there were a few times where I like laughed out loud from how absurd some of the things were that happened in the game. But overall, it's just like very charming, so quirky. Uh, the game, I would say this main story takes between like 2 to 3 hours to beat. I think I clocked it around three
Okay, so it's
hours.
pretty short.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
very short. I guess there's like 100% thing where you can. The whole point of the game really is to help people out, and that's why it's called "Thank Goodness You're Here." That's kind of what a lot of the people when they're struggling with something like Homeboy had his arm stuck in a sewer grate, so you needed to get butter in order to like get him to pull his arm out. But the first thing they always say is, "Oh, thank goodness you're here," followed by whatever they need help with. So um, I guess there were some uh things that I missed that I could have helped some people out with and I didn't realize it, but that's kind of okay because I don't know. You feel like you've helped out a lot of people and it's hard to tell what you've missed or what you're supposed to go and do and see to get that 100%. And yeah,
Right.
I'm not that much of a completionist. I didn't care too much that I didn't 100% it, but at the very end of the game, spoilers for Thank Goodness You're Here, you get this like weird musical cutscene that you can play. I thought it was just a cutscene that I was watching until it kept on looping. It would loop like the same four verses in a way. And then after one of the loops, it says like, "I need you to help me out here." and then I realized when I'm pressing A on the beat of the song during the cutscene, it's actually like helping them out and doing something. So then I had
Mm.
to like keep on helping them out, progressing this little music video cutscene, and it devolves into just everyone asking something from you, and you kind of have like this crazy anxiety breakdown because everyone's just shouting at you for your help. Um, and then the game just kind of ends there because like yeah, I guess the whole point is you were waiting to go visit the mayor, and while you were waiting to visit the mayor, you're helping these people out. So then you eventually are able to go see the mayor, and then the mayor just asks for your help for something, and then the game ends. So it was just like a full circle moment. Yeah, it was very cute, very charming, really easy, fun game, and I'm very glad I played it. I see why so many people were high on it because yeah, it was a good time. It was a really fun, relaxing time. Definitely not like a podcast game because so many dialogue things keep on happening up, and I feel like the
I see.
appeal of the game is just to hear all the characters interacting with each other. And yeah, so if you're just like listening to something else, then you'll kind of miss those interactions that build the world and make the world more alive and charming. Um, but yeah, if any, I wish it were on Game Pass because it feels like a perfect Game Pass game, but it's on PlayStation, Switch, PC, on Steam, and yeah, definitely. If anyone hasn't checked it out and they were curious, like you should go check it out. It was very fun. But yeah, so that's my British humor indie game rant. Not rant, I guess. I don't know. TED talk, speech, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, man, tell me what you've been playing.
So I remember mentioning that I wasn't going to start anything that was too long. So of course I picked up Romancing Saga Minstrel Song, right, which is probably one of the longest RPGs you could ever play.
Oh my god.
It's so similar to like, Thank Goodness You're Here. It's like this game just throws you into the world, right? You pick a character, you're not even sure which character you should start with, so you pick one. It just launches you into the world. And the way that the game is structured is that time passes as you complete battles. So each time you get into a battle, defeat an enemy, time will pass. Not sure how many battles it takes for a whole like I guess like blip, because there's like a blip system. It's like different blips on the clock, right? That passes, but time will pass. And when time passes, you will lose access to certain quests. And some of those quests I think are very important from what I've read. So if you're coming into this and you don't know what's going on, this is a game that's pretty stressful for sure. Because
Hmm.
you're like, which quests are missable, which ones are not. I found the ones that were missable, so I took care of those
Oh,
right away. Right away.
was that from a guide
Um,
or did you just
yeah, I had to look it
okay.
up because what happened was and there was like a tips guide that I watched, and they're like, just have multiple saves, right? And so I advanced time so much, not even by that much actually, and I missed a bunch of quests, and I was like, oh shit, okay, let me go back, load up a save, and see if I can knock out these quests back to back, which I was able to do that, right? So I think I got those quests done, so now I can just take it easy, right?
Mhm.
But the issue is that I like fighting enemies. I like grinding for levels. There are no levels in this game. If you grind, you're going to make the game harder because as time goes on, the enemies get harder. Right?
Oh, no. Did you realize that after you grinded a little bit or like
No, I looked it up.
okay.
I have not been grinding at all. So what I usually do now is like I'll take on a tough enemy because the way you advance is gear, right? New skills, which new skills you'll learn as you're fighting tough enemies. You get like this inspiration. There's like glimmer system, it's called. It's an inspiration during battle where you get a stronger attack where you learn something as you're fighting a tough enemy. So you're trying to get all these skills right so that you're stronger later on in the game when you beat it. And I think there's like 7 8 characters and each route's like maybe 20 30 hours anyways, so I'm probably not going to finish that anytime soon. But it's been fun, it's been stressful because it's so much different than oh, grind for levels and then you'll be fine, right? Or min max things and you'll be okay. Yeah, that's not this game.
Yeah, that's interesting because when you think of a JRPG, you think of like grinding and being able to power through a game just by like investing some more time by grinding, and then it's not the most fun thing, but at least it'll make the rest of the game easier. But I wonder if it was a conscious design choice on their part to subvert that, to take the
That's what
grinding out.
Romancing Saga is all about.
Oh,
There are
really?
no levels, right? Yeah, it's you getting stronger with armor, skills, and so you have to be smart about how you play, how you set up your team. And there's not much you can do to set up either. It's not like you're buffing your attacks or,
Mm,
debuffing the enemy. It really is like depending on the skills you have and the weapons you have.
that's
And you got to
crazy.
make sure that you don't advance time so far that now you're not able to kill anything anymore.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty interesting design. I mean, like I know a lot of games nowadays will do that as well. I'm pretty sure there's some game I was playing recently. Oh yeah, Eternal Strand. Yeah, some game that the advancement is through the equipment and maybe knowledge and skill. But
Mhm.
yeah, do you feel like you're probably just going to keep on playing it until what's the first major game? Like a Dragon comes out next week, right?
The 21st, I
Oh,
believe.
the
So we still have some
21st.
time.
Okay. Okay.
Well, yeah, that is next Friday. February is pretty short.
And then Avowed
That is
will be
next
out
Friday.
next Monday, I think. I think on the 17th, or maybe that's an early
And then we have
release.
Monster Hunter on the
Monster
20th.
Hunter on the 28th.
Yes.
Oh
And then we
my
got the
gosh.
Nightreign beta.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know that'll be so sick. I hope we're able to stream that. I think the only time I'm going to be able to play is going to be that Sunday evening, this Sunday evening. So hopefully, hopefully the like Memo also got it for PS5. So at least
Gotcha.
you, me, Memo, you, me, Crit, yeah, Chris. I won't say who Chris is, but yeah. Did Chris get the, or did you send him the
Yeah, I
email?
have it for him. He's
Okay.
not, yeah, he's not here yet. So I was gonna download it, but I got swamped with work.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was gonna download it for him on his PS5, but I was like, okay, I was gonna have to wait.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's all good.
unless you want to get up at 3 a.m. on Sunday.
Oh yeah. Or what is it? Like Friday, I think. Friday also will do
Friday.
3
Yeah, I was
a.m.
like, dude, Friday I worked the whole day. So
Oh,
there's
bro.
no way I'm gonna be able to do that. Saturday 3 a.m. might
Mm.
be, which is Sunday 3 a.m., right?
Uh
That might be.
oh yeah. Well, Saturday has an 11 a.m. to 12 or 11 to what?
Yeah,
2 p.m.
2 p.m. I think.
Yeah. I'm like, why'd they do 3 hour chunks? Like, why not just give us I mean, maybe 8 hour? Like, I don't know. It feels like three
And
is
they're
so
weird chunks too,
short.
man. They seem so random
Mm-hmm.
too. It's like 7 to 10 Friday. I'm like, damn, bro, I'm commuting at that time. That sucks.
Yeah.
Um, and then
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna be, up at 3 a.m. Friday and I
No.
have to go to work now.
No.
No
I
way.
I'd
So
imagine
so Sunday
uh-huh.
when I show up at your house, I might need a ghost energy. Just
Oh
letting you
no.
know.
Oh shit. Dog. Oh man. I don't know if you should be getting up at 3 a.m. for this. But
Oh, I just won't sleep.
oh my
Yeah.
god. Homie. We need that max brain power to get through the rest of It Takes Two. Oh yeah, and Split
Don't worry,
Fiction
ghost
comes
energy will
out
do that.
next
And
week
Split
too.
Fiction's coming out too.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. What the hell, February? Yeah, it's way too many games I'm very excited for. And one of which is a game that we already mentioned, but we played the beta, and it was my first experience with Monster Hunter Wilds. As a veteran, how does this game feel to you compared to, I don't know, I guess let's compare it to Worlds, which was the most recent release.
It feels as clunky as ever. That's just Monster Hunter. It really is. You pull out your weapon and you're like walking so slow because their weapons are so heavy, right?
Yeah.
And then the secret, the bird, I think that's what it's
Yep.
called. Those controls are a little weird. The fact that I was like, why isn't the bird stopping? Why is it like
Yeah.
auto tracking things, right? I was like, what is going on? But then once I get to the combat, I'm like, yeah, this is just good old Monster Hunter. And
Mm,
I think with the map, it's supposed to be open world. It seems like there's no sections. It's not section off like before
yeah.
in previous games. So yeah, I mean, I had a good time with it. I only played like an hour,
Yeah.
and the PSN was down because I
Oh
was
my
ready
god.
Friday night. I came home from work a little early. I was like, oh, I can't wait. Chris comes out and is like, it's not working. God damn it. All right. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was so hyped to just jump in there, maybe fight like the stronger monsters. Because I think I fought the what is it? The
Yeah.
Dashuguma, yeah, Doshuguma. Fought the alpha one, and that was pretty easy. It was just like, yeah, okay, what's next? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh shit, it's 2 a.m. on Saturday. I should probably go to sleep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I played the beta like late. I don't know what I was doing Saturday now that I think about it. Uh, but that
But
was a
yeah,
thing. I had
yeah,
fun with it. Yeah.
totally. I know.
And now that you have two weapons, because I was explaining before, like before you had to go to camp to switch out your weapons. So now you can
Mm,
have like I think you can have like a switch axe, a hammer, a switch axe, a light bow, or
yeah,
light, whatever the gun is.
any too.
Uh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I think that's cool.
I like I told you about how I'm feeling about it because as someone who, I mean, I feel like I've never played a Monster Hunter game, but like I said, one of my friends was like, "Bro, I remember going over to your house and you complaining about it all the time on the 3DS." And I'm like, I know I picked it up for like an hour, but I don't remember sticking with it. Like, it's so weird how I do not remember playing this game at all. So, for all intents and
You blocked it
purposes,
out, man.
yeah, I guess so. So this is feels like my first time with Monster Hunter in a while. And there are some design choices that felt interesting to me and felt a little clunky, like you said. The weapon switching, when you have the context of you had to do something else before in the previous games in order to weapon
Mhm.
switch, compared to what you have now, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But then as someone who didn't have that context, who felt like getting on the secret, whatever it's called, in order to switch the weapons, but then the secret won't stop running. So then it just felt
Yeah, which is
weird.
weird.
I'm like, why not just let
Yeah.
me like not mount it? Like, why can't I just go up to him and switch it? Like, I could understand not carrying two weapons on you. That lore wise makes sense. But I wanted to be able to just walk up to homie and be like, yo, let me get my new shit and then go off and fight. I was doing the bow
And
and
then
the
even
lance.
scrolling through the menu, the quick menu on the bottom of the screen, right? That's clunky as hell. But that's Monster Hunter. And I
Yeah.
think you can hotbar some of those things.
Oh,
I think you
okay.
can.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you got the radial wheel and then you could put like all of your
Mhm.
favorites on there. I do appreciate that. I think because I'm not familiar with a lot of the controls, this shit felt so overwhelming when I first opened
Yeah.
it up. And then I understand, like, I think it's good that they give you all the items for the beta right now, just so you don't have to constantly craft. But once again, out of context, I'm like, okay, so how important is crafting gonna be? Like auto crafting certain things here, is that gonna be valuable later on? Like, I don't know. I'm sure it will be. How often do I need to collect
Oh
these
yeah.
like resources and stuff?
All the time.
Yeah, I bet. I
Not
bet.
really. Not really,
Oh,
but
okay.
you
Okay.
should.
Yeah, I will. I will. I was already doing it. Just every time I had a homeboy like doing the auto run to wherever my location was, I was just like firing that thing off. What was it called? Slinger or
The slingshot. Yeah,
slingshot?
yeah. I
Okay.
don't know what the yeah. But it's basically you can grab things from the environment, right?
Hmm.
You can set off certain traps, environmental traps.
Yeah.
You can also collect items with it, which is pretty useful. I remember that was something new in World, Monster Hunter World. I don't think it was
Oh,
in the
okay.
old games.
I like that. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was really nice being able to collect it. I also really liked in during the combat being able to put out an SOS flare and like at any point
Mhm.
having people come and help you. Could you do that in Worlds as well? Was that?
I believe
Oh,
so.
okay.
Yeah, I just never used it because I was a brokey who couldn't afford PS Plus, so I don't know how
Oh,
that works. But with the beta, you don't need PS Plus, so yeah,
yeah. I'm like on Steam, they don't care about PS Plus, so it was
they
fine.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, because I ended up using that a couple times. Actually, every time I just went in and used it, mostly because I felt like I understand the design choice of not having the health bars and stuff, but it really is hard for me to determine how far like into his health I'm getting and how much longer it's going to take. So I rather just summon some people to help me out and make it the process a bit more streamlined and efficient. There was one. It wasn't even a quest, but I went and started hunting it. It was like a pterodactyl looking creature. I forgot its name. I don't know if you saw it flying around, but it appeared as just question marks to me at first, and I'm like, you know what? Let me try taking this homeboy down. So then I started fighting it, and then it created a quest for me to kill this thing, which I thought was really cool that it like made a quest for me so that I could get rewarded for hunting this giant monster. but I didn't realize that it was gonna take a long, long time to hunt
Oh yeah,
it. So
the Raid Dow, I think it's called.
that
It's like
sounds
the
right.
only, yeah,
Yeah.
the only one with wings. It seems like, unless it was the
I think it was the
Arkfeld,
arc it
which
might
is
have been the Arkveld. I don't know.
okay. Yeah, that's the thing with Monster Hunter. You're gonna spend a good amount of time. You might be spending like 40, 45 minutes on a it's like a boss type game, boss
Yeah.
rush type game, right? Really. Yeah, so if that's not your thing, probably won't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be fighting these monsters over and over and over again, so you can get their pieces to make better armor, better weapons. So if there's a
Mm.
particular monster you hate fighting, well, you're gonna hate it even more when you're done with it, especially if you want its armor and weapons.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was getting, and I think that's why I kept on summoning people in order to help that process go faster. Because I was like, when I was fighting that thing by myself for like 15 minutes, I was thinking, "Oh shit, I'm not having a great time right now." And there is some
Mhm.
inability for me to pause, I think, because I was in the middle of a fight, and I think because I was connected to the lobby or something. It just wasn't letting me pause the game, and there was like some stuff that kept on happening in real life that I was just like, shit, I guess I got it. I just need to do this. I don't want to
Yeah.
die. Um, so I always get frustrated whenever a game doesn't let me pause. And I think because of that, I am a little skeptical about diving into this game. But I did enjoy the beta. I had a fun time hunting things with people, and I feel like if we were to play it together, if like, I mean, it sounds like Memo might get the game, and it sounds, I know Brandon's for sure getting the game. Obviously, you're getting the game. I don't even need to say that. And I'm sure Chris is getting it too. So I think, there's at least a squad of people I could play with, especially because it has crossplay.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, and I think it's good to remember that I think the weapons in the beta, they're basic weapons. So when you're usually like
mm,
fighting these monsters, you'll have stronger weapons. The fights they go shorter. But I will say that there are some fights that will drag on for sure.
Oh, okay. That was the other like missing piece of context. I didn't know how strong these weapons were or the armor for that matter. I know they gave you like 3 or 4 different armor sets in there. But yeah,
Mhm.
I couldn't find any other weapons, and I know that they didn't open up crafting yet, and I doubt that they will. I feel like that's probably better reserved for the full game. So um
Yeah, that'll be main game.
yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, had a really good time with it, but I don't know if yeah, maybe it's a sale game for me, or I don't know. Maybe I'll hear the hype and then get that FOMO and then want to buy it anyways. So we'll see. We'll see. I would much rather put my time into Avowed and then Like a Dragon. So those might take some priority for me. But yeah, I'm glad they had this beta so that I could at least see what everybody was talking about and play it with everyone. So
Yeah, and it should be running again this weekend, this
yeah,
upcoming weekend.
yeah.
Odd is out.
But it'll be competing with Nightreign, so we'll see. Yeah,
Well, Nightreign got a little bit of weird
that's
times.
true.
3 a.m.
That's true. I
Oh,
I just
oh boy, it's 3
I
a.m.
know. I'm assuming
Time
that's
for night
for
raid,
the Japan time would be my guess.
most
At
likely.
least the
Yeah.
3
Oh,
a.m.s.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. Um, hell yeah, dog. Have you been playing? Was there any other game you wanted to talk about?
Other than my usual like Zenless and
Mm-hmm.
Animal Crossing, not really. I've been doing some practice combos for Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean that's about it. Cause Mai dropped as a new character,
Oh, right, right.
and so I wasn't gonna pick her up anyways. But I was curious about what she could do, and my cousin, who's really good at fighting games, was basically showing us what she could do. I think I only won one round, and he beat us like 20
Oh
something
my
times. So
gosh. Jeez,
yeah,
yeah.
we learned what she could do, or at least saw what she could do, what she's capable of. And yeah, I mean the competitive players will tell you like she's not a great character, and I don't
Mm.
have the eloquence to explain to you why they think she's not a great character. But she's not Zangief, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, you got enough just have a taste of her play style, so you didn't need to delve any further. And I'm sure
Yeah,
it's frustrating to lose 20 freaking times to someone who knows exactly what they're doing. So, yeah. you at least dipped your toes in, and now you could say you tried it, and yeah, go back to Zangief.
Definitely.
Um,
Yeah, I'll go back to Zangief. Been playing some Terry as well because he dropped a while back.
mhm.
So learning some combos because now that time's passed, there are more optimal combos now to practice. And since
Oh,
Zangief isn't a combo heavy character, Terry is. I'm learning how to like do combos essentially with this guy.
oh,
A
I see.
different play style for me. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's pretty fun. I'm sure it makes the game feel a bit more new and different. Just to pick a different character and then try out, see what they got. Um,
Mhm.
hell yeah, that's awesome. Um, cool, man. Well, there were it's funny. There was a couple of news pieces that came out this week. I mean, there was the PlayStation's network going down, but then it almost felt like I know the rumors were lining up that there would be a state of play this week anyways, but it almost felt like they just dropped the state of play announcement to like get everyone off their back about the network thing, which they also
Mhm.
said the network issue was like their own operational thing and not a hack, which hopefully is true. Like, hopefully everyone's information did just get stolen yet again. But yeah, on that note, with the state of play, this pod we're recording on Tuesday before the state of play drops. So it's already going to be out by the time this people are listening to this. Is there anything you're expecting to see in this state of play? I also know that they said Death Stranding 2 is going to be at another thing in April. So,
March 9th, I
oh,
believe.
March. Okay. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that was the biggest thing I was excited for is Death Stranding 2. I'm sure we'll get some more Metal Gear Solid stuff.
Oh,
What
right.
else is
Right.
coming?
Maybe Ghost of
Horizon
Yotei was something I was thinking we might see.
for sure. Right.
I,
Maybe another like trailer,
yeah.
maybe some gameplay.
Yeah, that would be kind of sick. I feel like it's probably due for some gameplay, especially because it's slated to come out later this year. I would love to get some more Astrobot, but I feel like they're probably done with any of the levels right now. I know there was the free DLC, but I, I don't remember if they said they're doing paid DLC or not for Astro, but we'll see.
I don't remember hearing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, about paid DLC.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. So I guess we'll see if we were right about what we're expecting to see. I doubt we're gonna see any like big third party things like Grand Theft Auto 6 or something like that. I mean, it is 40 minutes long. So I'm not sure what else could be in there, but yeah,
Persona 6.
Persona 6,
I mean, Metaphor's done, right?
Kingdom Hearts 4.
SMT 5, maybe. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts, I guess.
That'd be kind of
I,
crazy.
I know Persona 6 is not going to be there, but
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
crazy.
I
That'd be
know.
hype right there.
Atlas would never. Yeah, but by this time tomorrow, we'll see. Maybe I'll do a little live react thing. I guess even though I'm saying it right now, well, we'll see if I did or didn't do it. But
What time is it actually
12
scheduled for?
p.m., the middle of the day.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
You're going to the office tomorrow?
No, I'm working from home. I should have 12 p.m. open, but I'd have to double check.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to hop on for the live react, but it would be fun to text you while stuff was happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah, I don't think I have anyone scheduled for 12, so that should be open.
Okay. Sick, sick. All right. Well, I know that we are this was going to be a shorter episode. I'm also on a time crunch, so I guess we'll close it off with the article of the week. I need to make like a little soundboard or something just so I could hit a button and it'll shout that out or do something crazy. Um but yeah, so this week's article that I found was a meta-analysis. Its title is A Meta-Analysis on the Longitudinal Age-Dependent Effects of Violent Video Games on Aggression. I believe this study was done by I don't know if they were students or researchers. This was done in 2021. I mean, obviously they were researchers, but it might have been in Germany or Denmark. And it was very interesting.
Okay.
They uploaded all of their data that they collected into this like open source journal so anybody could go in, grab the data, and like run the analysis themselves to come to the same conclusion, or come to whatever conclusion you want based off of the data. But anyways, so what this thing did was, or what this study was trying to look at, were other studies that have also examined the effects of violent video games and how they affect like aggressive behaviors. um Now, this kind of goes against what a lot of people are saying, that, violent video games don't cause violent behavior. So they actually found a small effect size, meaning that, there is somewhat of an effect. It's not very big, but somewhat, that playing violent video games can lead to more aggressive behaviors. They found, though, that it was still small, but the effect was much greater in early adolescence children around the age of 14. So
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That time already, there's a lot going on during development, so I could totally see how like being exposed to violent video games might cause a bit more aggression, especially with teenagers with all the changing
Oh,
hormones of
definitely. I mean,
behavior.
at 14, I thought Ezio was the coolest guy ever, right?
It's
Now I don't, right?
yeah,
But
dude.
Ezio was pretty cool,
Ezio,
right?
I mean, shit. Assassin's Creed had its time when we were in middle school, high school, so I could see
Yeah.
it. I could definitely see it. Um,
Yeah. I was never a Grand Theft Auto kid, so I don't know. So I don't
mm,
have that perspective, but I mean, were you?
I not really. Yeah, I like my parents definitely didn't let me. They never bought me a Grand Theft Auto game. I don't think I played one until I was able to purchase Grand Theft Auto 4 myself, on whatever computer I had at the time, and I think that was after high school. So it was some time afterwards, before Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. Um, and yeah, so I was obviously a bit like older. I wasn't in like quite that same developmental stage. And I didn't really, I don't know, I'm not too fond of the Grand Theft Auto games. Like, I know they're super popular and like they're fun for a bit, but I couldn't finish 4, I couldn't finish 5, and I'm sure I'm gonna have the same issues with 6, but I'm still gonna get
Might have
it.
to do a playthrough.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now, if it were like fully co-op or something, that'd be kind of sick, but I doubt they're gonna do anything like that. I'm sure it's gonna have an online component, but yeah. So I'm like, what is the most violent video game I played as a kid? I couldn't tell you. Was it Grand? No. Yeah, I don't know.
Fallout 3 is kind of gory. I don't know if you were Fallout 3 was like my first rated M game, I think.
Maybe Gears of
We
War.
like popping headshots. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
but it's also not like a realistic type of violence. Like that you're killing um aliens and stuff. I mean, wait, whether you weren't killing humans at all in the first Gears of War game, right? Like I don't remember that being a thing. Like,
I don't think so.
yeah, I don't remember fighting other were they Marines? I forgot what their rank was, but I don't remember fighting those people. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll think of another game and then we could talk about how it affected me as a child. But anyways, cool. I think that'll do it for this week then. It'll be a bit of a shorter episode. Um, yeah. Thank you all so much for listening. Once again, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and give us a little follow, rate us on whatever podcast app you're using, and follow us on all the socials: Instagram, Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, Blue Sky. And if you have the means to do so, feel free to help us out on Patreon. We are a listener supported show, and right now we just have the $1 tier for some stickers, or to have access to Discord and our Discord. And I will send you some stickers as a thank you for signing up. So, with that being said, everyone, take good care of yourselves. We will catch you next week. Let us know if you cared about the Super Bowl at all. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Bye, people.